Good morning, Internet. It's so dark, it's pouring with rain. Oh my God, I'm going to get so wet later. I've got, what time is it? It's 7:30. So I'm leaving at about 10 o'clock. It's a little bit tricky to find this church, very old church. So I'm going to give myself 10 minutes extra. There's a route down the cycle path because I'm cycling, guys. I'm not going by car. But basically, my car's parked at Mum's, right, it is actually en route. Actually, I wonder if I should just pick the car up. Do you know what? I think I've just talked myself into that. I just park the bike at Mum's and then take the car. And there's bound to be parking around there because I think it's quite a quiet residential area. Oh no, I'm going to take the bike. I'm really, it's not that I like to suffer. I think I do a bit. I think I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to my bike riding, you know? So I know I can do this. So you're empowered against the elements. Do you know what I mean? Even with all the camera equipment. But I've got a huge sort of, Mac thing. It's far too big for me. I bought it in a charity shop, quite a long time ago. And it's waterproof and lined. So it's like a sort of, I'm not sure what they're called, like a sort of Burberry jacket thing. Not quite the waxed version, but, it's not far off it. And it comes down to pretty much my knees. So in the rain, my knees will get wet, but I've got waterproofs. I've got a waterproof onesie thing in red, which is also too big for me. So when I get on the bike, I look absolutely massive. I look like there's three of me on one bike, and I tuck my braids into the coat, and then of course I've got my rose gold helmet. Unrecognisable to be fair, and I've got glasses that keep out the rain as well. So yeah, I just think, no, what's the point in taking a car? That's not going to get me fit, is it? I want to be in the spirit of this, and also en route, there may be a couple of spots that I can take some photographs in the rain. If I go the cycle path route, I know there's like a sort of viaduct thing, and it's got some graffiti on it. And the thing with this town is because it's a suburban, offshoot that somebody thought about as an afterthought, with the Royal Navy. Most of the land is owned by the MOD, so we're not cutting edge art here, really not. So the graffiti's quite bad, but I kind of like that. Do you know what I mean? I kind of like that, outsider graffiti. Should we call it outsider graffiti? I just joined a group called No AI Outsider Art because I'm obviously starting the art classes this weekend for the TV shows. So you'll be able to see those tomorrow. And I'm not going to do any AI for that. So I'm sort of getting back into my raw, my feels for it's going to be messy. A little bit messy. Put the plastics down, put a cover down, get your hands dirty, pop some overalls on, and you're away. Let's make a mess. Let's make some fantastic marks because I'm decorating. So I've got, I'm making 4 48-inch square frames with canvas, and my stapler came the other day, so I can staple the canvas down. There's not enough staples. I'm going to have to buy more. I'm going to frame them before I paint them, just because I live in a small apartment and it's going to be easier that way. I mean, you could sort of put them on the wall and paint them there if you want. The problem with flicking paint is it kind of gets everywhere. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about that today. I wanted to talk to you about pooping. Yeah, pooping. Having a shit. What are other words for it? I don't know. Just shitting and pooping. Those are the ones I know. So basically, when you get a bit older, such as we are, quite often, the systems gets a bit sluggish, and especially this happens if you're on medication. Now, all medication practically dehydrates you. It takes the water from your body, and I don't know where it goes. I really don't. But it causes, your sort of biorhythms and what have you to change and alter, and then they're not as good as they were. And there are different ways to sort of counteract it. So I've tried everything. Now, what I've found out, by accident rather than design, is that you can encourage your body to do things naturally just by moving. Now, I know for a fact that if I'm in bed all day, because sometimes I just stay in bed all day and write, I do it quite often, that's really bad for my motions. And I've noticed that when I do exercise, it's much improved. So this is the other thing. When you get older, you're not moving around so much. And quite a lot of elderly people are they're just not moving. Sometimes they don't go out the house for days and weeks. And, the only exercise is going to the loo. And then when they get there, it's, there's a blockage. So it's really important, if you can, to keep moving for as long as you can. And I tell you what to think about as you're aging. If you think about, right, today I can move, and tomorrow I might not be able to. So today I'm going to move. I think that's a bit like why I want to cycle. While I can, while I'm able, while my body is physically able to do things like that, I'm going to do it. But of course, if you can't, you can't. So I've developed various ways. Now, with the dehydration thing, because I forget to drink water, what I tend to do is every now and then I'll just go into the kitchen and drink a pint of water. And for me, that works better. So I do that about 4 times a day. I usually do it before ballet, after ballet, and a couple, certainly once at night, about 7 o'clock, and once in the afternoon. And that makes sure that I get the water for the day. And that's been quite helpful. But none of these things are sorting me out, to be honest. So I've got, stuff they gave. When I had cancer, they gave me these boxes of fibrogel. And you mix that with water. And they just, all they did was seem to expand everything, but they didn't really do much else. So sorry for having breakfast, by the way, but poop needs to be talked about. It's a big thing for people. People have really struggle. In fact, I did a therapy song for constipation. I can't remember what it was called, but it is part of the music therapy collection that I did using rife vibrations. It uses vibrations, and at the very least, it'll relax you and help you think about other things instead of, because if we get stressed, I've got terrible IBS. If we get stressed, we tense everything up. And if you're tense on the outside, you're tense on the inside as well, and it's not going to help. If you're rigid and you're still, nothing is going to move around as it should. Anyway, the trick for me, and this really works, and I do this while I'm on the loo, but I'm told you can do it before you go to the loo. Rocking. What I do is I rock in a circle around the loo. But you can rock from side to side or forwards and backwards. You have to do it quite a lot. You do it 20 times. And that encourages your bowels to kick in. Now, some people like to have a cigarette, but of course that's very bad for you, isn't it? But having a cigarette also helps people, and I don't know if that's because of the relaxation, the relief. Oh, finally you've got your fag, if you're addicted to nicotine. Also a cup of coffee can do it. But I think, for me, as I've got older, these tricks don't work quite as well as they once did. Besides, I don't smoke anymore. So yeah, this side to side and rocking forward really, really work. Or try going in a circle, and then you're sort of combining the two. Now, I've done different amounts to see which one works best, and I have to do them 20 times for things to happen. And you do them once, and you can feel sort of inside things are happening, but it's not there yet. So wait a bit and do it again. And if there's one that won't come out, it's jammed, if you actually do that, it will release everything, because quite often things are jammed because you've gone into a panic. And that you're going to be, half an hour on the loo. And what if you're at work, or what if you've got a meeting? What if you've got to go out? What if you've got to go out and you've got to film an ancient castle, church rather, that was mentioned in the Doomsday Book, like I've got to do today. It's really important to get these things, to see to them before they become an absolute problem, because what can happen, and disabled people, this is very, disabled people are very aware that this is a problem, if especially for paraplegics. The compacting of your waist is really dangerous, and it can get so bad that it actually comes up into your lungs. I read that. I'm pretty sure that was on a medical site as well. That's if it's really, really bad. And it can kill you. And I believe there was rumour, and I'm not sure if it's true, because I know a lot of rumour, and there's a lot of rumour on the internet, that Elvis Presley died of constipation. Now, I've no idea if that's true. But, the drugs he was on, the narcotics that he was taking, were probably not doing his innards any good at all, and he was carrying a lot of weight. And those two factors are, red flags for the smooth running of the bowels, So the rocking, anyway, while I was, because I discovered this sort of by accident. I'd seen somebody doing a yoga thing and mentioning, one of those clickbait things, find out how to cure constipation with this little known hack, right? And there was a woman in a sort of yogi position, flying from side to side, and you had to click on it and you had to pay to find out. And I thought, oh, that's just so annoying. So I figured, well, all she's doing is going from side to side, so I'm going to have a go at that. And then I Googled, and I ended up at Reddit, because Reddit now comes up. I mean, Reddit is a search engine, isn't it? It's just like crazy how, well, it's not a search engine exactly, but because there are so many interesting points of view from lots of different people, Google goes straight to Reddit now. It's usually at the top. If you ask a question, it's usually right at the top, and Quora's a bit lower down. Anyway, somebody had said that their grandma had said banging your knee. Now, I assume that was banging it with your hand. But so I'm just here now, and I'm just bashing my knee and thinking, how can that affect anything? Well, I can sort of feel something shooting up my thigh when I do that. Perhaps it's something to do with the nerve endings, and perhaps those nerve endings pass up your leg and pass to your insides. We're a finely tuned machine. I mean, we really are more complicated than any car. But if you think about a car, if something goes wrong in the engine, something really small, it can come to a standstill. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's exactly the same thing, guys. But I suppose it could have meant that no, it must have meant that. It wouldn't have been bash your foot. Otherwise, they would have said bash your foot. So I'm going to try that again. Not again, I've never tried it. I'm going to try that today. And I'll get back to you on that when we do another one of our little health broadcasts. So there we go. That's I do hope you're going to come along to the blog, telltelleclub.com. And I mean, I've got 3 blogs. Well, I've actually got about 5. But for Elderescence, we've got one particular blog called Elderescence. So it'll be there as well. But I've also got the Tellteller Club for the photography. So Elderescence is a bit more about, getting older and finding these hacks. It's a life hack for constipation. And guys, it works. It really works. It works for me. Now, I told my mum, who's 81 today, because I think she's 81, because she suffers too also. Similar medication, actually, that she's on. And omeprazole. We're both on omeprazole. And I think even paracetamol causes a bit of dehydration. Anyway, she's had her hip replacement and she couldn't do it. So it didn't work for her. And I appreciate that a lot of us who are recovering from surgery or a bit infirm, it's not going to happen. And don't do it on the loo, because you might fall off, guys. So only do this if you're fit and healthy, and maybe try it on your chair before you go to the lavvy and see if that works. Happy constipation-free day, and I'll catch you later in the rain.